Thanks for being here. I represent Kaizen Private Equity. We are India's first education fund. We would like to talk a little bit about some non-education matters quickly and get to that. First of all, I'm going to talk about what is education. Second, what is the size of the education market in India? We all have numbers which I think are incorrect. I'll correct some of those numbers for you. And third, why education is lame without culture, and where India stands today, and how we can all plug in and take this forward. Kaizen wasn't set up just because we need another avenue to make money. Kaizen was set up because this is what we believe we want to dedicate our lives to, the rest of our lives. It makes, if you are not passionate about education, it makes no sense to invest in it. Very, very impressive what we just heard. I think we need thinking at that level and execution at a microscope level to make some things happen in India. If you were to sort of take a step back and see what is India, what characterizes India best, it is that Bombay or Delhi or Calcutta or some of the larger cities are markets that buy shampoo in a bottle, but the rest of India buys shampoo in a sachet. How can you take education, put education in sachet and deliver that so that the people don't have to expend effort or money in accessing that? That's ultimately going to lead to the success of some of the broader scalability issues that we face when we invest in education. So quickly, what is education? Education to us is, in a very simple term, the realization of one's aspiration. If you don't have aspiration, you will go learn very, very little, only enough to get a degree, but beyond that you won't do a thing. It's also sort of, for a lot of us, the bridge to the next orbit in life. You will typically see that the disposable income spend as a percentage on education for a lower middle income person is a whole lot higher than for a higher middle income person, although the amount of money spent is a whole lot higher for the higher middle income person. It's because this is their security for the next generation to climb up the ladder and get out from where they are. That's very important psyche in India and other developing markets also. So keeping this cultural context in mind is very important for a commercial undertaking such as ours. If we lose sight of that, then we are doing the country disservice. So what we have done is written our own education report to understand for ourselves what is it. India today, from many, many perspectives, is an $86 billion education market. It is not a $45 billion education market. I'll tell you how it is. And there are numbers to prove it, and I have those reports published. If you drop me a note, I'll send them to you by email. The private spend on education every year is $50 billion. And we'll walk into that. What are the various sub-segments and how those numbers stack up? Government spend is $30 billion. That's primarily in schools and colleges and primarily in maintenance of current resources, not upgradation. That's 80. Well, actually, private spend is $43 billion, and government is 30. There's 13 billion that we spend in educating ourselves or our children abroad. That's the quantum. So that is money that should be spent in India, not abroad. We are paying it, so it is our market. That's 86 billion. So if you look at India in a global context, we are 60-70% private spend out of 100 pie. Some of the largest markets, more developed markets in the world, counterintuitively have 30% private spend. US is 28% private spend. UK is similar number. And they are much, much more regulated than the Indian market. It's very hard to build a scalable school chain in US. Some of the largest school chains in US are probably 100 schools. Some of the largest in India are 1,000 plus schools. So what opportunity India provides to invest in education, other developed markets do not provide. So I want to break certain other myths as well. The government is actually very relaxed about how you invest in education. The regulations are very progressive. Implementation is extremely weak. They allow you to work with the government in creating opportunities. That's quite forward thinking for a country that's just woken up to the need of education in the last 14 years. How does the private equity fund then invest? What do we philosophically believe in? I, for one, philosophically do not like investing in test preparation companies. I don't care what exit I get out of it. I believe that is disservice to my community. I don't want to create students that go out and get to 99.9% by sacrificing their culture and social life. If you look at what differentiates an Indian person in the global context from others, it's the general concept of IQ. You know what? We fail miserably globally. We have 10 people globally who succeed and we sing their praises, and we have 2 Nobel laureates and 1 person who wins the gold medal because he can shoot straight. That's stupid. What we are missing is social context. What we're missing is an emotional context. What we have to develop is that. And that we cannot develop that by investing in test preparation. So what do we invest in? We have a social mandate as well. So we have to invest in real learning. We have to invest in basic education that promotes quality as a human. Quality living has to be enhanced. And you have to invest in companies that provide quality learning. That's a tall order. How do you marry quality and the commercial aspect? How do you win on both aspects? Funny enough, education is one of the few fields where if you deliver and lead with quality, you don't have to spend on marketing. And that's proven over time. If you spend on marketing and put quality behind you, you will keep spending on marketing and you will not get the students that you need. Students will come to you if you deliver. And students' base is not 2 to 24. Student base is 1 to 50, 1 to 100, 1 to when you die. It doesn't matter. You can learn any time. Another thesis that we all talk about, vocational training. India needs vocational training. We all know that. We are all very degree driven. We want a stamp of approval from somebody saying you are smart, right? Fine. That's the context of the market. Now everybody says there's a huge vocational training opportunity. Go invest in a scalable vocational training company and tell me you can make money from it. You know why? You go to the rural area and you say, I'm going to train you in a piping, fitting, welding, whatever. They'll say, get lost. I don't care. Give me a degree. That's my bridge. That is the cultural context of education. So you have to break away from a degree delivering, from a pedagogic system which provides focus on testing as opposed to learning. So companies that try to break that through the use of technology, through the use of lateral thinking, yet can scale, exist in plenty right now in India. They're all over the place. They're a couple probably in the room right now. The good news is Reliance was built in 20 years. The next education Reliance is already in this room or somewhere in India, working away and doing really, really well. So we are looking for those companies. Areas that excite us at Kaizen, at companies that bring good quality school management skills. Companies that bring good quality corporate training skills. It's a huge market. If you go to provide corporate training as a third-party provider, you're playing in a $50 million market, basically. But if you look at the amount of money Infosys and others spend in corporate training, their own staff, it's more than a $2 billion market. How do you make a company out of that? What is certification-based corporate training, which is required for regulatory reasons? What is skill-based corporate training, which is required because you need to have better productivity from your staff? You need to distinguish that. What are the other areas that you can invest in? Preschools. We don't need another treetop. We don't need another stepping stones. Brand names don't matter. We need schools that have the ability at this point to deliver a classroom setting that doesn't confine you to one teacher training you in a 24%, 30% classroom setting where an individual child's aspirations are subdued. How do you bring that out at in a cost-effective manner? Those are models that we're looking for. How do you take technology such as that and create a distribution network? Ultimately, that is a distribution network. Beautiful work done, $200 million. It's going to win on distribution network. How can you do that? How can you create a distribution network for distance learning, which is a combination of correspondence course, satellites, mobile phones? How can you do that? Those are things which exist in India today. They are relatively big companies, and which is the ones we're already looking for and investing in. Those are some of the higher thoughts, and I'm happy to take any more questions. Thank you so much.